Hi, and welcome to the Balancing Act New York edition. I'm Montel Williams. We're bringing you community stories and introducing you to businesses and people who are making a difference. So let's see who's making a difference right here in your neighborhood.
On today's episode, high-end fashion, how to shop sustainably without breaking the bank. We meet the organization providing crucial aid, assisting children and their families who are battling childhood disease. If you've been injured due to negligence or malpractice, the importance of having the right team of lawyers behind you is invaluable. Plus, lots more on The Balancing Act.
Seeking out a new look? Then check this out.
Fashion is always changing, and one of the best ways to keep up with new trends at a reasonable price is to shop at consignment stores. It's time to turn over a new leaf in your fashion.
If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. So I decided I love shopping. I love the idea of consignment because it's the ability to turn over property, find the things that you have, and get the money back with the retail prices that you spent on it. And it was good for the earth. And we named it New Leaf because it was from the 16th century proverb to turn over a new leaf, or change of behavior, change in attitude. And our mission was to change people's attitudes about how they perceived wearing other people's items. And I think we've done that in New Leaf.
The merchandise is changing because we have so many fabulous consigners. These people, we have so many. We have about 3,000 now. That's a lot. They all have different tastes. So when you have different tastes and people that are so different shapes and sizes, you get things from all over. Some people travel all over the world, so they change. Every day we take in between 20 to 100 pieces.
It's all about the customer at New Leaf Consignment and creating new habits in fashion.
When I was a little kid, I always wanted to say, I want to dress rock and rollers or fashion shows. And then they didn't have stylists back then, but I went to college. I have a Bachelor of Science in Clothing, Textiles, and Merchandising. I started as a buyer in the executive training program in Lord & Taylor in the city. That always came, naturally to me. And I got the opportunity to work with Arlene after my daughter went to college, like in Act 2. She was coming for a couple of days, and now I'm a partner.
Well, I work down the street. So one day on my lunch hour, I popped in because it looked like a cute shop. I was into consignment shops at that time, still am. And her things were beautiful, curated beautifully. Her mannequins are the most gorgeous creatures around. And it was a real friendly environment. It's a very easy way to do it. You sign in, they send you an email with the number of items that you've got, and then you either get paid by check or, in my case, by trade, because I'd like to come in and shop.
You come in here, you have me, and I want to show you what looks good on you, and I want to show you what's in right now and what for your body type and what you're comfortable in. But I'll get to know you first. I could feel it right away when I meet somebody. I could see their style, but then when talking to them and getting to know them, where they want to go from there. I'm tired of being in sweatpants and t-shirts.
Her choices are terrific. The clothing that she sells they're up to date, they're cute, they're fun. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to shop and break the bank. Sometimes you come in here because you need something. Sometimes you come in here because you just want something new.
See, we love being here because we do love what we do. Now it's 27 years that we're approaching our anniversary, and I'm happy that New Leaf's been able to be a part of helping the earth.
For more information, visit newleafconsignment.com or check out our website, thebalancingact.com.
The hard work nonprofits put in to change lives is remarkable. Take a look at this.
According to the CDC, 1 in every 365 African American kids are born with sickle cell disease. Over 10,000 kids under the age of 14 will be diagnosed with cancer this year, according to the American Cancer Society. These are just a few of the alarming statistics when it comes to childhood diseases.
When our patient families first receive a diagnosis, either cancer or a blood disorder, their lives are plunged into chaos. There's worry, there's fear, there's anxiety, there's a general unknown as to what's coming next. Embrace Kids was founded in 1991 by a group of parents, a local business person, and a nurse. It was founded to fulfill some very basic non-medical needs.
So Embrace Kids provides financial, emotional, and spiritual support for the patient families. And these three pillars really guide us in assisting the families in the most comprehensive way possible.
After years of running Embrace Kids and support programs, we realized that there is a core challenge that so many of the kids and their entire families face. That's a feeling of loneliness, of isolation. So sort of a thematic approach of Embrace Kids is to address quality of life, to have beautiful, active, spectacular events that are fun for the child patient, their siblings, their parents and grandparents, really to build a community.
Embrace Kids is bigger than just one person. It's a network, a family of families, really, from donors, volunteers, patient families, who are all in this together just to uplift every single family and child going through this tough time.
Embrace Kids helps children get past their diagnosis and move on to success.
I went to a lot of events, movies, dance events, basically any event you can think of that they threw, like I'm there if I can be there, and it's really fun.
So we are right in Rutgers' backyard in New Brunswick, New Jersey. So with that, we have thousands of Rutgers students who volunteer with Embrace Kids Foundation. So these Rutgers students are part of a program called Are You for Kids, where a student organization is paired up with a patient family to provide social support, just some fun as the child goes through treatment. The students will organize activities, meetups with the families, visit them when they're in treatment, just some light, fun social interaction, which is greatly needed. And what's truly beautiful about this program is how transformative it becomes for both the students and the patient families.
So all of our programming is based around celebrating the child patient, but also their siblings.
To learn more about Embrace Kids, visit their website, embracekids.org, or check out our website, thebalancingact.com.
When legal aid is required, what you need most is someone you can trust, as we find out in this next story.
If you're a victim of abuse or have been injured by negligence or medical malpractice, it can be very challenging to find the right team of lawyers to support you. You need a team small enough to give you personal attention and large enough to handle complex litigation.
My brother John and I have always had a very strong commitment to doing the right thing and to helping others. And that commitment is something that we've lived in the 30 years that we've been working together at Bonina Bonina. When people come to our firm, they have generally had something really terrible happen to them. And when people have been injured or damaged by the negligence or wrongdoing of another person, they really need to be able to focus on healing and working on the personal aspects of overcoming what happened to them. And it's important to John and I that we listen, that we find out everything about how what happened to them affected them, and that we then can take the legal part of what needs to be done to help them off of their plate so they can focus on getting themselves better and healing.
For 30 years, I spent much of my time in the courtrooms in New York State trying cases on behalf of victims of medical malpractice and other negligence.
Bonina Bonina was the first in New York City to file a Child Victim Act case in 2019. They're now making it their mission to make sure people who've suffered from this trauma are heard.
When you've endured and survived the type of trauma that victims of child sex abuse have been forced to endure, many survivors have suffered in silence for years, even decades. And there comes a time where you can no longer be silent, where you need to be heard, where you want to be heard. And we want to work with these survivors to help them be heard and help them confront both their abusers and the institutions that enabled them along the way. It's an important story to tell.
Law firms that are very big or have high volume practices don't have the ability to have that relationship with their clients. A lot of their clients are just another file in a filing cabinet. And our clients are people who are very real to us and whose concerns are our concerns and whose struggles we are trying to help them through. John and I, after September 11th, worked as volunteers to represent families for free at the Victims' Compensation Fund. And in order to be able to take part in that massive volunteer effort to help these families, we underwent training that taught us how to work with people who were dealing with severe trauma and had been victims of a criminal act. And that training has really helped us when we've been working with adult survivors of sex abuse.
When a survivor of medical negligence or childhood sexual abuse honors us with their trust to address some of the most serious and awful things that have happened to them in their lives, we consider that a sacred trust, and we want to honor them back by putting in the time, effort, energy, blood, sweat, and tears to make things right for them.
To learn more about how Bonina and Bonina is helping victims get what they deserve, visit their website, medlaw1.com, or check out our website, thebalancingact.com.
What's happening in your local community? Let's find out.
Shopping for a new car, truck, or van isn't exactly a beloved universal pastime. In fact, the process can be daunting, frustrating, and lengthy.
So I've had one major car dealership experience. We bought a small car. It was our first time buying from a dealership, so we really didn't know much, and we also didn't ask questions.
I bought a lot of vehicles in the past while being stationed in the military. The experience I hated most about car buying is the not knowing, the hidden fees. I was definitely taken advantage of because of my age.
It was a lot of paperwork, which we've never done before. It was a little bit of haggling. I think because we were young buyers, we were definitely taken advantage of in terms of the interest rate.
The negative perceptions that customers have, or their fear, is that they're going to get ripped off when they walk into a showroom.
Luckily, Route 22 Nissan is committed to modernizing, streamlining, and simplifying the vehicle shopping experience.
What Route 22 Nissan does to make people feel comfortable, first of all, a welcoming smile, not feeling that they're going to get taken advantage of. We're very transparent. We make them feel welcome. We go through a needs analysis with the customer in our sales process. We explain to them what we're going to do before it even happens. We explain to them how their trade is going to be appraised. We explain to them how the financing is going to be arrived at. We make it transparent so they feel comfortable, they feel easy.
They looked at me as a person. They answered all my questions. They were super patient. They weren't on me trying to get me in and get me out of there. He asked me what I wanted. That was important to me. He's like, what do you want? What do you want to pay? That was comforting because not many dealers will give you that option.
Route 22's slogan is the smart way to buy. We have a process, program for our customers so that they reap some benefits from it. They earn points. They can earn up to $2,500 towards their next purchase by servicing their vehicle here and keeping it well maintained. We have a 5-day, 500-mile return exchange policy. So if the car doesn't work out right for them, they have the comfort, the ease, no questions asked, boom, we'll make an exchange, no problem, 1, 2, 3. You know, if they take a longer drive than a regular test drive, they say, hey, listen, this car doesn't really fit right for me. Or, hey, you know, I really should have gotten the bigger model, or I should have gotten the smaller model, which gave me better gas mileage. So it gives that customer the ease, the comfort, the confidence in making that purchase. And it's a big purchase. Route 22 specializes in special credit. People have things that happen in their life that makes their credit score a little bit challenged, and we can help them out with that. We'll tailor it to what they need. We'll work with them on getting a payment that's going to be affordable for them. We also offer different types of financing, like leasing a vehicle, a short-term finance where it's a 24-month finance to a 72, 84-month finance for our customer. And we have 24-month leasing and 36-month leasing, 48-month leasing for vehicles. It's whatever the customer needs.
So we had no intention of buying a new car that day. We just came in to look and browse, and I saw the car that I've been wanting for a while, and I was like, I don't think it's feasible. So when we actually sat down and talked to a sales rep, he really gave us what we wanted, and I was really excited.
The thing about Route 22 is that I didn't feel taken advantage of. All my questions were answered. They were very helpful and straightforward.
What I would say to a customer that's out there looking for a vehicle, this is a friendly place to purchase a vehicle. It's very transparent, meaning you'll see everything before you even make that purchase.
To someone who's looking for a new car, I definitely recommend Route 22 Nissan. They take care of you, and like I said, you'll leave with what you want. You don't settle, so 100% I would recommend them.
I'm definitely coming back after my 3-year lease.
To check out the fantastic selection of vehicles and set up an appointment to visit Route 22 Nissan, visit route22nissan.com or go to our website, thebalancingact.com.
Whether you're a child or an adult, it's never too late to learn something new. Check this out.
Now more than ever, Americans face an important crossroads in the history of this country. We'll need a fresh crop of leaders to overcome the educational challenges that lay ahead.
So leadership is hard, right? And I would say leadership is harder than actually getting the job that gives you the title of being a leader. The key is actually knowing the community, knowing the context, understanding root issues, and owning the problems that not only you are encountering in that moment, but the history. And that's part of the problem within our schools and society today, is that we're not willing to own the things that happened, the harm that existed before we arrived on scene.
If we're really honest, this is just factual. Public schools were started in 1635. It was designed for white male students. That same system is the system that we're now trying to educate white students, black students, Latinx students, indigenous students, Native, all these students from different backgrounds in a system that was designed for one group. Equity is a buzzword right now, but we define equity as each person, both children and adults, getting what they each need in a system that is designed to center their needs.
With 18 years of experience turning educators into leaders, the Leadership Academy is an organization that's built around the core principle that every child in school deserves a chance to grow and excel.
Our schools are like the nucleus, right, of our community. They sit at the center. We have this false notion that our schools are in some ways separate from society, that when we walk into our schools, we walk through this veil, and our kids and our teachers and our leaders, but really, the problems of society live within our schools. Everything that we're experiencing on a day-to-day basis, everything we read about in the news, everything that is going on in our society, they also live as a microcosm within our schools. That is why schools, represent such a huge lever for change within our society. The Leadership Academy started in 2003, so we're almost 20 years old. And we started specifically to support the aspiring principal. We wanted to diversify the role of school leader in New York City. There are more women and more leaders of color in that role. The other thing we wanted to do is to make sure that our leaders were leaders for social justice.
At the Leadership Academy, we believe that the principal is the key driver or lever for change at the unit of the school. There's this whole myth around being a born natural leader. No, leadership can be cultivated, developed, taught, their skills, their practices. Often we think that it's like once you finish school, you're done learning, but learning is a lifelong endeavor. And so we have a set of beliefs about the ways in which adults learn that are anchored in research and practice.
When I became superintendent, I was really looking for an organization of experts around leadership at all levels to help me navigate my school system as a new superintendent. The Leadership Academy impacted me greatly, and I would say impacted me in a very positive way. To be able to partner with an organization that understands leadership and is courageous in its approach to address equity. And in fact, I would say they're unapologetic.
So my experience with the Leadership Academy probably spans decades, from my first year as a principal all the way up until I became executive superintendent of the Bronx, the brownest borough in New York City. My why is rooted in interrupting systemic racism, creating opportunities to close the achievement gap for students of color. The person who's the best person for the program has a vision. They think they have a calling for leadership, and we come in and we work with you where you are to move your practice forward. And if you say, I have the will, but I might not have the skill, I can work with you.
We're the partner you call when you want someone who understands your experience, someone who has been in your role, someone who will tell you the truth, someone who will hold up a big mirror to yourself and help you see how your leadership either advances or gets in the way of your mission.
If you want to have an authentic learning experience, if you want to learn from practitioners in the field, the Leadership Academy is the place in which that happens.
To learn more about the Leadership Academy, visit leadershipacademy.org or go to our website, thebalancingact.com.
Managing your money doesn't need to be stressful. Take a look at this.
Financial planning can be scary. Most people don't even know where to start. It's time to begin thinking about your financials and start planning for the future.
Everyone should plan for the present and from the future. We should learn from the past. So you need to understand what your needs are going forward, okay? What your needs are currently. Sometimes that's not so easy, okay? But you need to have a professional get involved and take care of that. Besides just making sure that your cash flow is in order, you need to make sure you have a specific tax plan. A lot of people do not plan for taxes. A lot of people just get salaries. They pay their taxes and they call it a day. We're a little different here.
For over 30 years, Adeptus has helped thousands of individuals and businesses with all of their financial needs, from accounting to tax services and more.
Adeptus is a full-service accounting firm. I founded it with a partner over 30 years ago. We wanted to establish a firm that was different than the firms that are out there now. I have significant experience in the accounting business. I have been a CFO of a private company, so I have sat on the other side of the table. So I understand what clients need and what they want to need. We're not the typical green eye shade accounting firm. We make sure that we are creative, we understand what the clients want, okay, and we try to create strategies which help them. We have a full-service audit department. We do over 200 certified audits. We're a peer-reviewed firm with a pass rating, which means we are top-notch, and we're recognized by the NASDAQ and the SEC. We're very communicatable. We do not bill you for questions. We do not bill you for telephone calls. We want you to do that so we get it right the first time and make sure that everything is right. Okay, we're very creative. We make sure that there is a tax plan in order to save them the most money.
Adeptus can help anyone start organizing their financials. They offer large company services with a small company feel.
We are a smaller firm, considering the size of some of these other firms out there, but we practice big. We want to be the organization we are today. Our culture is great. Our chemistry is great. We're very, very fond of one another. We get together and see each other's families, so that way we know who's on the other side of the computer screen, the other side of the telephone, the other side of whatever device you're using.
It's all about the customer at Adeptus. That's why each team member spends time getting to know you and your financial needs.
We look to be creative and guide you in the right direction, and we take very good care of our clients. The clients are the lifeblood of the business, so if you don't take care of the clients, you're not going to have any business. We service their needs, we make sure they're taken care of, and we have a good set of people, and that makes for a good organization. But a lot of accountants are the guys who tell you what you can't do. We're the guys who tell you what you can do.
For more information on Adeptus and their services, visit their website, adeptuscpas.com, or just go to our website, thebalancingact.com.
Thanks so much for joining us on this local edition of The Balancing Act. We'll see you next time.